do we fix this?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the worst part of it. It's like cancer, cancer, the treatment for that is radiation, right? But that radiation kills all the cells. It doesn't care about the cancer cells. It's going to kill all the cells, And so I love how you put that the reference to the racism being cultural disease is that it kills, it spreads, and it's hard to cure. Hello and welcome to Bliss Talk. Today is Thursday, and I have a special guest. What do you know? This young lady goes by Jonzie. She is a musician, R&B singer, and I thought it was cute that she also plugged in there that she's whatever she chooses to be. I got that. I'll get that. I'm what I choose. In her description. Tonight we are going to talk about Black women and the masks that we wear. People don't know that we're going through a lot, or we're just so tough sometimes. And underneath it all, there is a lot of uncertainty that we don't allow people to see. Also, I want to know her idea or her perspective on how racism is a cultural disease. I want to talk about knowing our worth as an individual. She had quoted Beyonce's song, "I don't argue with these, I just raise my price." And I was like, you better go ahead with your bad self. We just raise our price. We don't argue. Well, that's a little bit of what I want to talk about. I got plenty that I would like to talk to her about, but without further ado, I'm going to bring Miss Jonzie on. Woo child. Listen. Hey.
Hi.
Look at you and your beautiful self. How you doing, Queen?
I'm good. With your beautiful self.
Thank you. I was trying real hard to put this thing up in a ponytail today, girl. You should have seen me with my brush, just
Look,
trying to get it.
I know the struggle, but I didn't try too hard, if you can't tell.
Girl, I love it. I love the not try too hard look. It looks so natural, so beautiful. So I don't know if you were prepped today, but Bliss Talk, we build, learn, aspire, collaborate, and share keys with one another. And I'm going to ask you 5 questions that I really want to get your insight on. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about tonight, I want to talk about Black women and our mask, our fronts that we have. We have the appearance of being really, really strong, but on the inside there are certain insecurities, certain things that we're not even certain about, but we push through like we know the answers. We fake it till we make it. So I wanted to get your perspective on that.
I think that's a great place to start because, I feel like I've been doing that all my life. I feel like we're almost raised to do it because of what we see growing up, I mean, I feel like I don't think I know really any Black woman who has a mother that wasn't doing that. And so that's kind of what we growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to be strong and we have to be this and we have to be that. Well, really, we really don't have to be anything but what we want to be. But yeah, it's definitely an issue that I've seen. I've had this conversation with a lot of Black people before.
Yeah. I love that you put in your description for yourself, what I choose. That is so beautiful. What I choose. Because so many times you have to sit back and think about it. Did I choose this? Is this where I wanted to be? Is this what I wanted to do? And so can you tell me about a time where, or just reflect on how you came up with that description for yourself, what I choose? Because I'm sure there was some type of reflection period where you were just like, this is what I choose. Okay.
It was. Honestly, it literally came from just me choosing to pursue a music career and to chase my dreams. Like, I felt like for majority of my life, I tried to find other things that I was good at to do for a profession because of what I was like, the standard I was held to, I guess, and what I was told I had to do or be. I'm Christian, so a lot of Christians don't believe, you know, you should be singing R&B and stuff like that. I just don't see God in that light. I did for a long time, and that's what made me choose to be things that were not my choice. But as I grew up and like got to know God for myself, it was completely different, and I was able to like understand there's no problem with you singing about love. That's God given. God is love. So what's the issue with, you know what I'm saying, me singing about my experiences? And as long as at the end of the day I give God the glory for my gift, which that's every day I'll tell everybody.
You know, me and my friends, we were talking about our perspective of God. And even if you look in the Bibles, there are people just recalling their personal relationship with God, their journey with God. So I believe that we are all on our individual journeys with the source. So everybody's journey is going to look different, sound different. Of course, when you listen to other people's stories, like I get to do every day when I talk to you guys, I hear a lot of similarities. And so I feel like those similarities, maybe we could look to that for guidance, but also know that this is our individual walk with God. Yes. Yeah. So I want to move on to my very next question. This is a heavy question, but very necessary right now. Making people uncomfortable right now. Racism being a cultural disease. I love that you made a post. It was a rather long post, but I read the entire thing, and that stuck out to me. Racism being a cultural disease. Can you expand on that and give us your perspective?
I feel like it literally what that says. It is a disease. It's an illness that kills. Obviously, yeah. It kills. And just breaks people down, and it spreads. It's a mindset. A mindset that people have to change. And I feel like honestly the diseases in the mind are sometimes some of the worst ones. And so I guess that's kind of how I see that. It's a disease of the mind, something that you can change. That's the good thing about it. It's not like you know what I'm saying? It's not a chronic disease that you just can't get rid of, but it's a choice. Going back to that, it's a choice.
Yeah, I talked to D.S. Will yesterday, and he touched on the fact that everyone is on their own frequencies, whether it be your age, your background, the community you grew up with, who raised you. Yeah. And so everybody has individual experiences. Yeah. So it's hard to fight this disease when we all think that different cures is going to cure it, you know? Does that make sense? It's hard to fight the disease when people everywhere are having different opinions on how do we fix this. And so that's the worst part of it. It's like cancer, you know, cancer, the treatment for that is radiation, right? But that radiation kills all the cells. It doesn't care about the cancer cells. It's going to kill all the cells, you know? And so I love how you put that the reference to the racism being cultural disease is that it kills, it spreads, and it's hard to cure. You know, it's one of those things that we've been trying to fight. Yeah. I want to move on to my third question for you, or topic that we can discuss. Knowing our worth. I can't argue. I don't argue. I just raised the price.
Hey,
I love that.
I love you.
That loves anything bold, anything strong in a woman. You go, boss lady. You go. So I wanted to talk to you about that. Get your perspective on knowing your worth, because we humble ourselves so much sometimes, you know, and we humble ourselves so much that we start to believe that we are less than what we really are. So what is your advice for someone struggling to find or know their worth?
That's a very good question. What is my advice? There's so much advice you could give, but my advice to somebody struggling to find their worth. I'm trying to think of what I told myself in the moment when I really figured out, like, oh girl, you don't know, you sleeping. Like, I'm trying to think of what I told myself that was the most, like, profound thing. I mean, obviously, like I said, God is a big part of that. Finding who you are in God, your identity in God, that's a huge part of it. Because once you find your identity in God, then things kind of fall into place and they make a little bit more sense. But someone struggling, it's okay when you don't see yourself in that light. That makes sense. It's okay when you have those moments where you're not feeling yourself as much, because sometimes it happens, but you can't wallow in it. Yeah,
I would agree with that. It's okay to have those moments. Don't beat yourself up about having those moments, so to speak. But also, what I would advise people to do is tell yourself the truth. You know, tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself, you know, you woke up this morning and you knocked out all 8 hours of the day. Okay. You came home, you cooked, you cleaned. Okay. That project that you said you was going to do, you did that. Tell yourself the truth. Yeah. That's how you get to know your worth. You know, those are not easy tasks to do. All the things that I name, I mean, they're necessary tasks, but they're not easy. You know? So day-to-day life is not easy, period. Right. Just getting by every single day. It's a new thing, a new problem every day. Right. But you just pick yourself up and you keep going. Right. I feel that. But not arguing with people, I think with that part of the statement, I think what she meant by that is, why argue with people when you know the truth about yourself? Exactly. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm not going to argue with you because I know my own worth. And guess what? The price is going up as we speak, you know, because I'm working on myself. Yeah. I'm putting in the work. And if you want to waste time arguing with me, guess what? You're not moving. You're not being progressive by doing that. So while you want to be mad, I'm going to keep pushing, you know? Yeah. So say it one time for me. I want to hear you say that bar right quick.
What she said? I'm arguing with these ladies. I just raised my price. Hey. Or something like that. I can't remember, but she was going off. The whole song was just full of captions, and I was just yes, queen, same. All right, so moving on to our next question. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being and tuning into Bliss Talk tonight. I got the lovely Jonzie with me, musician, R&B singer, and she is what she chooses to be. We talked about Black women and our strong, the masks that we wear. We talked about racism being a cultural disease. We talked about knowing our worth. And we talked about arguing versus progressing in that matter. The next thing I would like to talk to Jonzie about, I want
her to tell me about the last time she felt uncomfortable and what was your response to that feeling.
Jeez. That's a good question too. When was the last time I felt uncomfortable? Wow, I don't think about these things too often, so now I'm trying to remember, like, when was the last time I really... It's so weird, because I usually am pretty comfortable around people in general. And I find that people get comfortable around me. So I don't have too many of those moments. But
I would say if there was a lesson that you recently learned, because sometimes when people break our realities, we learn a lesson from it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So maybe the last time you was embarrassed or uncomfortable and you learned something from it.
Now that I learn a lot of lessons on a regular basis, so that's a good one. I guess the last time would be with a family member. I'm gonna change my mindset towards this family member, because I feel like I've over the years grown hard because of interactions we've had. So God started dealing with me, going back to the whole mindset thing, because everything is he started going back to me on how my mindset was towards that person. And so sometimes I will realize, like, how I speak towards that person, or how I respond to that person when they do certain things, because of what I expect already.
That's a really good example.
Yeah, and that was a hard one that I'm still dealing with to this day. This has been something I've been working on for, like, I want to say a few months now, but like, it's hard to change habits. Some habits are easy to, like, switch them up, and then sometimes it's hard to switch up a habit of how you react to certain things, or what you think about certain things. So I've been working on that. I feel like that's been the most embarrassing, if I have to say.
Uncomfortable.
Most uncomfortable, or most recent lesson I've had to, like, go over.
I agree with what you were saying about expectations, because so many times we get angry because we are expecting something from someone, but we didn't even tell them that that's what we were expecting. It's like, how do they know that? You're just supposed to do that because that's what I expect, And there is something beautiful where you could be on the same page with someone about those expectations. It's either you're going to have them or you don't. And if we both agree not to expect so much from somebody, then imagine how beautiful that is, You
won't be disappointed.
Right. But if we both make a commitment to our expectation, that can also be beautiful, because we hold each other accountable. But all that has to do with communication, I think that's the biggest response, that way to respond when you're uncomfortable, especially when it comes to relationships like that,
Yeah, it's hard to change it.
It's hard.
But it's got to be done.
It's got to be done. Yes, Miss Lady. Thank you so much for being on Bliss Talk today. I got Jonzie, musician, R&B singer. She is what she chooses to be. We just got finished chopping it up about one of her most uncomfortable periods in her life or situations, and she let me in on a little bit of how she's responding to it right now. She is pretty much taking her time, day by day, working on being able to release some of those expectations. Would that summarize it?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. So I got one more question for you. And hopefully we can really dive into this, because I want to know, how much time are you allocating or dedicating to yourself for education or educating yourself?
That's a good one. I don't have like a set amount of time that I do it, but I try to learn something new or deepen my knowledge on things every day, especially right now, because I've been having a lot of time to do it. Where I work, I'm the only one in the office. Everybody else is working from home, so I can kind of, in my downtime, do whatever I feel like doing. And I've been really just trying to teach myself some new things. I had a few business endeavors that I'm trying to do, so I've been getting my knowledge up on those things, and just I guess trying to be some sort of productive musically. That's been kind of difficult. I feel like at the start of quarantine, I said this on I did something with Soul Society with T Walker and them, and I said this there too, but I felt like this quarantine was gonna be so creative and inspiring, and I was gonna write all these songs, and then it was like, no girl, you just still going through the same lessons and trying to learn something.
Yeah,
you just the same. So that's been interesting, but I'm trying to learn a few new things, but I try to gain more knowledge at least a few hours out there.
I think that it's important to me. I'm working on myself as far as time management. It's an everyday process, and yes, I've gotten a whole lot better with it. I even say to myself, if you're going to do this all day, there's no way you can get this done. So you have to figure out what time you're going to get that done, if that is a goal of yours. And so with wanting to be a part of the conversation and change with what's going on now, I'm finding it hard to stay focused on the a million things I got going on, but also find time to educate myself. And so that's why I asked you that question, to kind of get a gist of how you go about finding the few minutes that you can to read something or look up something or Google something, so that you could be a part of the solution. Because like I was telling DS Will yesterday, it's really hard to be a part of the conversation if you don't know what people are talking about. It's really hard. So have you been researching or looking up things recently as to what is going on?
Yeah, I have. I've been, obviously, social media has been blowing up with things, but I've been trying to stay a little bit current here and there within the news outlets, but it's so much you can trust from the news.
Yes.
Because it's so robotic, and it's all the same, and they don't tell the truth. They don't tell us the truth. They don't want us to know the truth. So I find that, honestly, majority of the truth comes from the people. And the as you're saying, the research that we do on our own instead of listening to the news outlets. But I've been trying to keep current with everything. I also have been trying to not spend all my time dwelling on dwelling on all of the videos and such that have been going around. I've been trying to keep current with what is actually happening, but
you're trying
having to see, having to see so much scrolling down your timeline every 2 seconds, people getting shot in the face with rubber bullet pellets, like tear gas, getting ripped out of their cars, like it's ridiculous, and all just because they want to peacefully protest,
right?
And it just doesn't make any sense to me. But I try my best to not spend too much time looking at that, and try to educate myself on what organizations are there. I've been finding a few new ones. I've been seeing this. I think it's like a pull-up. I forgot what it's called. Pull-up something. They are asking all of the cosmetic lines and such and brands to be upfront about how many Black people they have actually in their companies and on the boards, like sitting on actual boards, which I'm definitely behind that, because might as well show that diversity. Not diverse.
I saw on your page, I think it was your page that I was looking at, where it was a bunch of different websites that we can go support. Was that a post that you had made?
I think, no, that wasn't one that I had made. I had found that one.
You found it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a great start to kind of look into the different organizations that we could support. And then also, I think we should educate ourselves about the law as well. Me and my best friend, we were watching an interview with Ebony K. Williams the other night, and the knowledge that she was just, it came out her mouth just so effortlessly, but digestible. I understood everything that she was saying. I think if you guys in the chat right now with us that are tuning in to Bliss Talk, go check out Ebony K. Williams, because she talks a lot about the police culture and also legal stuff that we need to know about rights and things of that nature. So I do think that those organizations are some good things that we need to start educating ourselves about, and then also look at different Black lawyers and people who are talking about police culture and how to infiltrate that. Does that make sense?
Now that's one thing I have been picking up on as well, is paying attention to the lawyers that have been coming up on my timeline and being shared, and just the knowledge they have. The knowledge is really is out there. And to go back to what you were saying about being up to date on the laws and such, that's one thing that I had to kind of check myself on, because I felt like for a while, because the news had gotten so bad, it was to a point where I wasn't even keeping up with what was going on with legislation and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's so easy to do that. It's so easy to get distracted and to not pay attention. But you definitely have to stay up to date on this stuff. Yeah,
we definitely do. It's something that we have to be conscious about and make time for. So that's why I wanted to point that out tonight on the Bliss Talk show with you, Miss Jonzie. Do I pronounce your name right?
Yeah.
Is it Jonzie or Jonzie?
It's Jonzie.
Jonzie! I said it right. Yes! This has been so freaking awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in to Bliss Talk tonight. Our 30-minute conversation with Miss Jonzie, musician, R&B singer, and she is what she chooses to be. I am Carmen Bliss. You can find me at cbliss_pics. You can find all of my conversations in my IGTV, and you can also visit my website, blisstalkshow.life. I have some t-shirts coming in, y'all, so y'all can go ahead and order them. They look really fly too. Like, even if you don't support Bliss Talk, like, get you a shirt, because you gonna look cute in your shirt. Please believe you gonna look cute in your shirt. I'm also a singer-songwriter, and I am the director of OLPGSO, nonprofit organization where I raise money and resources for local artists in the community. So make sure you guys go follow that page, OLP_GSO. And so as we close out tonight, those of you who are still with us in the Bliss Talk, please ask us 1 or 2 questions so we can close it out with Miss Jonzie. And while you guys type that question in there, I want Miss Jonzie to give us all her social media information where we can find her and support her.
For the most part, I'm on Instagram, Jonzie.Bones, JONZIE.BONEZ. I'm gonna be on platforms here and there. I'm on SoundCloud. You can find me same name. But I haven't been posting anything just yet. Been working on this music and gonna put it out this year, and I'm excited and nervous and all over the place. And just stay tuned. My Instagram is the best place to keep up with me right now.
Yes, keep working. Keep working. Do what you say you're gonna do every time. Whenever you say you're gonna do something, do it. Then watch what happens. I promise you. Watch what happens. Even if it's just small. Yes. Something small. Mm-hmm. Go for it. Reach for the stars, hunty. Because what did we say? We don't argue. Okay? We just what?
Okay.
We just raised the price. That's it. It's raising as we speak. Miss Jonzie, thank you so much for joining me and all of you guys at Bliss Talk tonight. I'll be back on live at 8 p.m. I have Brita coming to join me. Wow, perfection. This should be sweet. She's an author and a poet. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel too. It's Bliss Talk Show on YouTube. So hit the subscribe button for me. The more subscribers, the merrier. So that's it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. You take care.
You too.
Good night.